Hello and welcome to Season of War. Back at you today with another Age of Sigmar matchup. Ryan's coming back to the channel with his Tzeentch force again. Today's mission, we're playing Places of Arcane Power. So this is heroes controlling the objectives. You store points equal to the number of rounds you've held the objective for. So that's a big one. You want to get on early and hold it as long as you can. The realm today is Actually, so the spell is Fireball. We have volcanic terrain and a command ability that adds +1 to run and charge. So not the craziest realm, but Fireball will potentially be useful for you with all your spell casting shenanigans. As I said, you're playing your Tzeentch. Why don't you take me through your army?
Sure. I'm back with my Host Arcanum again, but it's a little different. Brought Zangor and Lightened along. I just painted them up, so I want to see how they're going. So the list is running 2 units of 6 Zangor and Lightened and a Zangor Shaman. The Zangor Shaman is my general. He knows Treason of Tzeentch. He also has the Host Arcanum general trait, which lets me auto-unbind a spell on turn or battle round 1, 3, and 5.
That's good.
Other than that, I have 5 units of 3 Screamers, which are going to do Screamer things. Yeah. They probably won't hurt much, but they're going to get in the way. As with 10 Blue Horrors, which make a marvelous speed bump. I have a Magister, and he's got the Fang Circlet as well as Glimpse the Future. Rocking Kairos, Fate Weaver, protecting everything. He has Bolt of Tzeentch, and yeah, no other options for him.
But he's, trickery with changing the dice.
Yep.
So
triple cast wizard. He's got a really, really strong built-in spell. I like him a lot. And then I've got the Blue Scribes back here because might as well make my spell casting more reliable. Yeah, and that's the army.
Awesome. Well, for me, I'm running Mortis Praetorians for the first time. So this is Katakros' own legion. So his command ability or relentless discipline ability allows him to give +1 save in a 36 or 18-inch bubble, depending on how many wounds he has. But that's big. Obviously, another way now that Petrifex kind of got its hit, this is how everyone's kind of keeping OBR nice and tanky. So I have that. I have a unit of 20 Mortec. I have 2 units of 5 Death Riders and my Liege Cavalos who are in the Cavalos Lance Battalion, and then 2 Catapults and a Bone Shaper because you can't not take Catapults. At least also I don't have a ton built, so I don't have a ton of options yet in terms of army building. So just trying to slowly try out different variations where I can. But with that, I was way less drops than you because you're not running any battalions or anything. Yep. So I finished deployment first, and I am going to choose to give you the first turn here.
All right. Well, I get my Host Arcanum. D3 units move up to 6. Have to be units with flying. And I always roll 1, which is heartbreaking because now I can't get Kairos in range to cast a spell.
All right, and with that, I think we're ready to start the game, and we'll be going into top of round 1 with Tzeentch going first.
All right.
All right, so all finished up. Tzeentch turn 1.
Yeah. I successfully null casted all my spells, so I got my 6 fate points. But effectively all I did was make a new Destiny dice and give my front unit of Screamers here Mystic Shield. Other than that, I moved around. I got my blue scribes on the objective over here. I got Kairos on the objective here. Summoned my additional Screamers, and I have effectively 2 billion Screamers on the board. And yeah, just kind of set up, hoping that I don't have to face a double turn, but I don't think I'm in a catastrophic position if I do, so we'll see how it goes.
Pretty defensive. You have a lot of stuff that can run out and start doing some damage too, so
yeah,
not a bad spot. And you start off on 2 objectives, storing 2 points, so that is a good start for you.
Yeah, so let's see what you got.
All right, we'll be going into OBR turn 1. Alrighty, so finishing up my first turn with OBR, as you normally do, you used a bunch of Destiny dice to make saves against me. So pretty much the big thing was spreading out, want to take out your heroes and get on objectives. I actually locked myself in here with my Mortec. Again, not used to the army and how slow they are and all that. So I actually had to run them just to get them out of Katakros' way. Did I need to do that? Doesn't really matter either. They would have been going in there. Whatever. But he ended up killing the 3 Screamers. Killed 3 Screamers over here. My 2 catapults both went into Kairos, getting like 7 shots on him. And you actually used 4 Destiny dice?
No, I used Kairos' once per game. I whiffed my first 3 saves, and then I used his once per game to save him on 4 wounds left.
Yes, so you took 2 of the hits, and then For the second catapult, you used 3 destiny dice to make all your 4-up saves, meaning that he survives, which puts a little more emphasis on the priority roll here. Again, that's why I gave you first turn, so I had a good chance of it, knowing that I'd be able to take off either him or a couple of key pieces. Other than that, I threw a unit of Katakros over into the Enlightened on discs. Obviously, they're such a strong, hard-hitting unit, and fast too. And while I knew that they would probably hit me back, I was actually hoping to do a little more damage, but the Death Riders always disappoint in what their output is. I feel like
the Enlightened do not.
Yeah, they do not. They killed all 5 of those guys, so that was really a bad trade for me, only having killed one of yours. Also leaving my Liege Katakros wide open now. They will have no problem shredding him on your turn. And I only score 1 point here, so I don't feel great about this, although the priority could really go in my favor. I think either way, the priority here will be big because we've both committed in some capacity because you had to throw Kairos up too. So, other than that, I don't think there is anything else other than that. So we'll go into priority.
Set 4.
A 6. So OBR gets it. OBR is going to take the turn here.
Are you sure?
Yeah, for sure. Katakros is feeling excited after just killing some little demons. He wants to kill himself a big demon now. With that, we'll be going into top of round 2 and OBR turn 2. All right, so just finished up OBR turn 2. Taking priority obviously was big. Managed to successfully take Kairos off the board. But I did have to use both my catapults to get enough shots through. Because you actually made a couple saves in the first one. So, but end of the story, he's off the board, which is very big for me. And the rest of this game, you're going to have a lot less summoning because of it. That was shooting into charging and combat. A couple stories. So these 5 guys finish off the blue scribes pretty easily, doing 3 mortal wounds on the charge, so no problem there. Mortech went in pretty much just to tie everything up and start chipping stuff down. Got 4 wounds on a unit of Screamers and 15 on the Blue Horrors. So you have 5 Brimstone, and actually they're going to have to take a Battle Shock. And then in return, with my reroll saves and +1 to save on the Mortech, I only lost 1 guy. So obviously feeling good about that. But the big story is Katakros rolling double 1s for his charge means he did not get onto the objective. Obviously that's big in points because you only score equal to the number of turns you've held it. So it denies me 1 point this turn, but realistically it denies me 4 points if I was to hold it to the end of the game.
Which you probably will, because I don't think I have the resources to kill him anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So that really hurts points-wise. But you're off all the objectives right now, too. You have 2 heroes left. So you're in a tight spot scoring-wise also. And a bunch of your stuff tied up, thankfully. That's pretty much it. My Leash Cavalos ran to the back corner of the objective. Strategy here is just to pull your unit as far away as possible. So that once they kill him, if they do it now or next turn, it's just going to take them hopefully another turn to actually get back to the center of the board to do anything else. And that's pretty much where we're sitting now. So we'll be going into bottom of the round and Tzeentch turn 2.
Sounds good. And all the Brimstones die because I can't actually.
Oh, do they just straight Battle Shock off?
Because the -1, I could have saved 1 on a 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That was the one piece. Like I thought about it just to keep you spread.
Yeah. So the -1 bravery from Mortis Praetorians coming in clutch there. But not that 1 Brimstone really would have done anything.
No, it's just to stop you from all folding forward with the pile-in.
All right. So going into your turn.
Alright, end of the battle round. My dudes flew over here, kicked the living crap out of whatever that thing's called.
Leash Cavalos.
That's the one. Then my Zangor were flying into Katakros, and he kicked the living crap out of them. But the 2 remaining guys were stars, and they actually did 10 wounds back to him. Which...
10 wounds against a 2-up save. To be fair, obviously I rolled atrociously. but they were all rerolling all hits and all wounds, so it makes them very strong and consistent in their output. But yeah, I think I made like 3 out of 10 2-up saves. So now you have 1 rend, so I was on 3 ups, but pretty atrocious for my saves. But
so
it does make me stronger in terms of melee, but I've already attacked. So
yep. Surprisingly, the Screamers and the Catapults didn't do much to each other, but they're now tied up.
Yes.
Over here, I probably should have fled, but I was trying to keep the guard tied up if he gets the turn, and they are tied up, so I guess I succeeded, but I think those Screamers are a lost cause at this point. But if I get the turn, maybe they can flee off and do something interesting.
Yeah, you're in a bad position model-wise and army-wise in terms of what you've lost, but you actually are in a good position scoring-wise still. You did manage to get a hero and cap both of these objectives, so you scored 2 points this round, keeping you ahead by 1. But the big thing is, you score equal to the number of turns you've held it. So if you win priority here, you're scoring 4 points, which is
and that's
potentially might already be insurmountable.
That's true. So you won the last one. It's only fair that I win this one.
All right, here we go.
5, 3.
3. You win this one.
All right, I'm gonna take it.
All right, sounds good. So we'll be going into top of round 3 with Tzeentch going first.
My turn is over. I scored this again. I scored this again. Kind of a exciting turn. I was desperately... I went for the kill on Katakros. I slashed him with all my Screamers, which almost all failed their slashes. I tried to cast a mortal wound spell on, failed that as well. So he's at 6 wounds. My big unit is Angor Lightened. Got +1 to charge, so I needed a 12 to charge Katakros. I rolled an 11. That was a little bit heartbreaking. Yep. But they flew in, beat the crap out of a bunch of Mortec Guard.
Killed 8, which is pretty good for being 4 ups rerolling after.
Yeah, the fact that you get 6 back right now makes it feel a lot less meaningful. But it is what it is. I needed to tie them up or they would just run and swarm this guy. And now you have to invest resources from your catapults to kill him, which odds are you'll kill him, but at least it's resources from your catapults. So, yeah, that's my turn.
All right, so with that, we'll be going into bottom of round 3, and it'll be our turn 3. right, so finishing up OBR turn 3. Obviously, big thing here was your guys surviving. We knew were tying me up in combat here and blocking me from the objective. So I tried to do a couple things. One, I tried to do the mortal wound from the Bone Tide Nexus to take off that Screamer. What that would have allowed me to do is actually just rotate my base to pile in and claim this objective with Katakros. Didn't get that, so that was a little stretchy. One of my catapults shot at him, got 2 hits through. You use a Destiny Ace to save one, and then you made your one other save, so he stays alive, which is bad news bears. And then this catapult finished off your other hero. Katakros obviously killed those 2 guys. I killed 2 Screamers here with the Death Riders, and my Mortec, after bringing 6 back, killed your remaining Zangor. So you don't have a lot left on the board, but obviously me not getting onto this objective, in combination with not killing that hero, means if you win the priority here,
well, I think
you'll score 3 points and just...
But even if you win priority, you're only going to get 3 points here, so this guy has to get to here.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Well, I can send Katakros here as probably the easier one.
That's true.
Yeah, but really it's coming down to points. So, again, not getting on there the one turn with the Snake Eyes charge, and then you able to lock me in and deny has been huge. Really shows, I think, some of the weaknesses of OBR, especially with their heroes, of being slow and you can tie them up. And even though he was chewing through a ton of stuff, you just kept throwing more at him and bogging him down.
I will say, though, that the catapults kicked the crap out of my Screamers.
Yeah. So actually, in your turn, they had finished them off in combat. So that now
I didn't deny you a single shot because I charged in, double turned, and they killed me in the double turn.
By the time they were
so it's like
all free. But obviously, big priority here. I need to win this for a chance to stay in the game and kill your shaman. I roll a 1 and you win ties, so there's no way you can lose this. And you roll a 6, insult to injury. All right, well that's pretty much it. So where we're at in score. I scored 0 last turn, so it was 8-3 for you. So I need to catch up 5 points. I think you're right. I don't think I could have done it no matter what.
You could have tied.
Well, I would have gotten...
This would have yielded you 3.
1-2.
Because you wouldn't have got
this
turn.
I would have had to get... No, because I only would have got 4. Because I would have got round 4, so I would have...
Oh yeah, you only had 3, so you couldn't have caught no matter what happened.
So even if I had one priority here, I would be able to move on to this objective.
Yep.
And score 1 point this round, 2 next for 3, and get here. Now, how far is this?
You would have had to have a run and get it this turn.
A 16. I'm over 16, so I would need a 17. So I could max move 7, 13 with a run of a 6. So not possible to get there this turn, meaning, like you said, I can't get that till next turn. So I would score maximum 4 points by the end of the game. Meaning, even if I had one priority here, I would have obviously gotten the glory of being able to kill your stuff, which I would do anyways. But you would still outscore me on objectives and win the game. So big win for Tzeentch here.
Arcanum stays undefeated.
Yeah, they've been doing well. Again, so talking about big keys to the game, I think, like we've talked about throughout, movement is a big one, and actually blocking myself in with my Mortec, well, they got around eventually. Katakros got in. It did deny me from potentially moving forward, getting charges off, getting Katakros further up the board, which hurt me, right? So between that little move blocking, failing my charge, again, not having access to the reroll charge ability is huge, and then being able to just throw stuff at me and tie me up, man, just keeping Katakros off that objective.
Yep, this is all speed bump right here.
Yeah, I had also tried to charge my Bone Shaper on, because while that Screamer was there, if I had have made like an 8-inch charge into him, my Bone Shaper would have made it onto the objective, and I would have been fine. But I only rolled a 5, again, not being able to reroll, and 5-inch charge. There's no point going into this Screamer because I can't, sit on the objective there. So that put me in a pretty bad spot, and I just, couldn't get my heroes through into the front lines fast enough to get onto the objectives.
Yeah, except for the suicide guy over
Yes. So again, I think hindsight, again, I was expecting to kill more Xandor, take out some of your threat. Really, realistically, what I should have done is just thrown them up
Yeah,
on
as
that
a
objective as a screen. Exactly.
Like
So,
I did over here.
Yeah. So it would have delayed you a turn getting into him, scoring me an extra 3 points because that would have been his third turn on the objective.
Yep.
And that would have been all the difference in the game. So that's where it's like little things, little mistakes. So just leaving those guys out of combat, not charging them in, potentially would have kept me that objective.
Yep.
For an extra 3 points.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's big.
More than, because you would have held it for
That would have been the
turns.
third turn I held it, which would have been 3 points.
Yeah.
So
But also denying me, so it's more of a swing than 3 points.
potentially, but it also depends on priorities. Maybe.
But assuming priorities still worked out the same.
Yeah. So it's interesting. You never know if that really changes things, but definitely would have been a smarter play in hindsight. Anything from your perspective that you would have done differently, or any keys to the game?
I mean, in a greater sense, I would have left the Zangor at home and brought Flamers because they're just better. Maybe would have fled from these guys, the Screamers.
Mm-hmm. I think like Kairos going down, you just can't do anything about that. I think.
No, it's
you kept him for a turn longer than he typically would have lived. Obviously, dumping a bunch of abilities and destiny dice into it.
like he did nothing because he never was in range to cast his spells. He effectively was just gone before I could do anything, and that's a lot of value gone. But there's nothing they're too long range. I can't hide them.
Yeah.
The only thing that could have changed things is if I had rolled 2 for my move at the start, and then he would have gotten range and at least done something before he died.
Ground some mortals out there. But I don't even know if that would have been a whole lot.
Well, it would have got your more tech in combat with a spawn.
That's true, but even still running, there's a spawn that's annoying, tying me up, doing stuff. Yeah, that's
the big one would have been I might have been able to put 10 mortals on Katakros, and then he would have died that turn I did 10 mortals to him.
Well, I would have healed. I would have
healed
healed before then, especially with the double, because he can also heal Katakros. At least be healing 6 before you now start having one priority there.
I mean, the other big one is if you hadn't doubled me off the start, Kairos would have done something, but I also would have tied up the catapult before I could do anything. Yeah. But I mean, in the end, it didn't lose me the game.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about being able to, going lower drops. I'm mid drops here, but going lower, having choice of priority, being able to give it away and play, at least in a position where I'm not getting doubled, I can play confident that you're only getting one turn.
I think the lack of change host really hurts me. Like even with Zangor here, like maybe I fit him in, but if I had change host, all of a sudden you're in a problem where you have to protect your backline because I can teleport behind you.
Yeah, and I think especially with the Fang Circlet where you can teleport that hero, then summon 6 streamers back here, then get them into my catapults, I think I would have just been done, had no chance in this. Again, you could have just tied these up, and I don't have the bodies, especially on this mission, to create a bubble. Especially 16-inch movement, you can just go over screens, so I have to have a very dense bubble.
You would have had the death ball for it, at which point I would have just held on to everything.
It's just not possible to do, I feel like. Especially on this mission where I can't use a board edge to help screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a great game. Really cool to see the Xandor, actually. I haven't seen them on the table in a while. And they dish out a lot of damage.
They do if they attack second.
Yes.
That 4-up to hit when they don't attack second just kind of takes it all away.
Yeah.
But
it was a lot of fun for me, actually. While Katakros didn't get it on the objective, he was still chewing through stuff, which was a lot of fun. Typically, every time I've seen Katakros on the table, it's playing against him with Deepkin, and I just avoid him all game, and he does literally nothing. So it was cool to see, the big model actually get to do something.
I would have done the same if it was a different mission.
Yes.
But you can't ignore them when the mission is heroes on objectives. So.
Yeah, no, it was pretty cool. Yeah, one of those games, obviously I was able to chew through some of your stuff, but really it just came down to victory points and you being able to kind of outposition me. And again, shows it's all about positioning and victory points, right? Movement is such a key to the game. And you having that advantage, being able to time me up, lock me out, and block me from objectives.
And that's why I started playing Host Arcanum. Movement is what they do.
Yeah, they are great at it. All right, with that, we'll wrap it up for the day. Obviously, a big win for Tzeentch, and they are still, again, you weren't running the most optimized list. They performed well and, had some success today, so we'll have to take them down another day.
Yes, indeed.
But anyways, thanks again for watching. Always appreciate the support and look forward to the discussion down in the comments. And we'll see you soon.